Good morning and welcome to Small Business Saturday. As you know, this is one of the most important times of the year and one of the most important ways you can support your community. 86% of all the businesses in Denver are small businesses. These are mom and pop shops, second generation businesses. A 28-year-old who went out on a limb and decided she wanted to spend.
That's Mayor Mike Johnston. So Mayor Mike Johnston, he's the mayor of Denver. And back in October, you can look this up with Louis Rossmann too. There was this controversy about him signing a deal with Flock Safety. You know, Flock Safety's been the news. It was predicted in the book 1984. That's a joke, but I mean, we're not too far off from that. If you guys don't know what Flock is, it's just a network of 50,000 surveillance cameras that are everywhere. They call them license plate readers, but then the founder, CEO Garrett Langley, goes on to talk about how much more it can do. So it's really not a license plate reader. It is an AI camera. And we want to use the term AI really lightly too, because when we think of AI, it's AGI, artificial general intelligence, something that can do tasks a human can. A lot of their cameras are just machine learning that's looking for specific details, but I mean, like, it's still not very far off. It doesn't mean it's not scary, also, like, who wants to put that kind of power in the hands of the government, even though Grok just got nominated for being used for the government. Yeah, that's a different thought. But yeah, so here's, let's see. So we're going to look at some things. So back in, what day was it? It was over in October. But yeah, in October, they signed a new contract with Flock. And then, there was so much controversy about it that Flock said, hey, how about we just do it for free? And Mike Johnston was like, yes, we'll do it. We'll do it. Do we want to? Sort of. Which, you kind of have to think, if they're doing it for free, if Mike Johnston's doing it for free, then, like, why? Why is he doing it for free? Recording quality. All right, so it's going to be 4K, I think. Sorry, I just want to check on that. So, yeah, Mayor Mike Johnston's like, hey, I'm going to fight for you. I'm going to be your cheerleader. And, yeah, you can give it for free. And Garrett Langley's like, yeah, we'll do all of this for free, just for the safety of little Grandma Cheryl over there. Little Grandma Cheryl over there is afraid her car is going to get stolen, which is like, I don't know, it's let's see how little Cheryl. Oh, it decreased 11%. Yay! I guess we don't need them. Aurora. Well, I mean, like, that's your first problem right there. But yeah, in the past year, there have been only 14 carjackings. Actually, what we want to look up is a vehicle theft. Because vehicle theft is the main thing. Vehicle jacking is when you go up with a gun, you're like, get out, I want your car. It's down about a third. Yeah. That's pretty high at the airport, but everywhere else it's like, yeah, I'll be honest, I didn't know this happened so much, but you know, on the other hand, Denver is a very it used to be a good place to live. It's not anymore. If you ever go, I'd recommend carrying a pistol. Wow. Vehicle theft rate per 100,000. So we're a little bit higher than Memphis and slightly under Bakersfield. So that's the bar we were setting in Colorado right there. Is the bar we're setting is Bakersfield, California. And yeah, I don't know what to say about that. Bakersfield beat us by was that 9? By 9? By 9. And we're 3 times higher than national average. Let's see, what about Texas? This is the last thing I'm gonna look up because by the way, I misspell stuff because I'm used to the Mac keyboard and I got a PC and I love the PC, but the long keystrokes are kind of crazy. So Texas is about at the national average, right? National average 305, Texas 331. Anyways, so carjacking, car theft, you know, kind of just get insurance for that or keep your car in a garage. That's actually kind of high, but you know, it's like a point. No, it's like a 1% rate, 2% rate, I think. Anyways, so back in October when Louis Rossmann, he came to help out the fight. He lives in Austin now, but he used to live in New Jersey, if I remember correctly. This is a highlight. You know, this is what's his name? No, it isn't. It's not Louis Rossmann. I can't touch type because I've always used laptops, so I'm used to having it in my vision. But oh geez. I swear I'm not this bad at typing. I think it's the keyboard, honestly, who is. Oh my god. Johnston. Come on, put the S in. Oh my god. Yeah, the keyboard is just so screwed up for some reason. It's a Red Dragon keyboard, so I feel like it should be a pretty good keyboard, but well, I don't remember his name. Anyways, yeah, Perplexity's not being very helpful. It told me earlier. This guy right here. So who's this? Tim Hoffman, that's it. So that's Tim Hoffman right there. And this guy right here, he's some leader of the some HOA in some rich part, I think Littleton or something like that, if I remember correctly. I was at this event, so it's crazy because like the article says, we're at the literal forefront, and I don't want this crap in my state. Get this out of here. And why do we have to be a battleground? Why can't some janky state like New York handle all this? Although New York would arguably be a worse place because it's so liberal that they would just go along with it. Colorado's kind of a mixed. It's like you've got the socialists who are afraid that ICE is going to use it to deport people, and then you've got the people on the right side that just and the people that are like middle and libertarian. You've got those people who just want privacy. We know that the government always gets up to something they shouldn't be getting up to. I'm gonna guess this is a pretty good article because it breaks down different issues. However, I'm not going to go through it. What we do want to take a look at is somewhere in here. Yeah, so they have some stipulations, some terms under which Flock has to abide by. Switching off access to the nationwide lookup system, blah, blah. So, it has to be a localized network for Denver, which, it helps things so much more when, the Flock servers are not in Colorado, right? I assume they're in like Virginia or something, or probably back in Georgia, where the company is based out of. Let's see. I'm kind of curious. Amazon Web Services. So, and where are those? For Pete's sake. So, where are those? Not on any Denver-owned servers. So, there's your first. I mean, like, that's gonna get sketchy right there, but we'll get into something else in a second. This is, yeah, as if giving the government exclusive control over it is a good thing. This is launching a task force comprised of members of the mayor's office, Denver City Council, the district attorney's office, Denver police, and others. I want to go back to why would Garrett Langley agree to not only a lower contract price, but also free services until next year into it, or for free services for the next 5 months. So in February or March is when that expires. And why would Mayor Mike Johnston and not the city council. City council is actually pretty synonymous with the people on it. But why would Mayor Mike Johnson and his cabinet, why would they be such big cheerleaders for this service that nobody likes? All his constituents hate. I don't think anyone likes it. This is the uniting issue in Colorado, is nobody likes the flock cameras because everyone knows that it doesn't do shit. It doesn't help in any way, and it just introduces more surveillance. And you know what? If you're for it, then number one, you're an idiot, but also this is how you become not an idiot, is by learning about mass surveillance. I'm gonna go off on the side real quick too. Council members. Stuxnet. Oh, not Stuxnet. It was so China and CCP members. If you see this, I love China. I just don't like the mass surveillance. It's kind of creepy. And if you weren't born in a society where everything is watching you, you're just not going to like it automatically. So that's why I'm using China as an example, because I do want to go to China. I want to get a visa and explore it a little bit. It'd be pretty cool. There's that new Chongqing East. Look at this. This thing's massive. That's a concept, but this is what it actually looks like. It's pretty cool. It's this massive train station the size of a airport. Meanwhile, the United States doesn't. Anyways, Salvice, Skynet. There we go. So Skynet is just this comprehensive AI surveillance network in China. This probably isn't even related to Skynet at all here, but where's the device? Wait, SCMP wrote about it? So this is run by the Chinese government, but yeah, I'm not paying for that.
China has the largest video surveillance
So
network
yeah,
in the
it
world.
they go to this.
对于外来的人员来
And
讲
this was
呢，
back
他
in
站在门口门并不会打开。
2018.
So you know when someone's late?
They're showing
So-
off like how good this is. And then when I was in Italy in 2022, I was talking with some Chinese students that were staying in Italy, and they were telling me how bad it is there. And some of them didn't care, and one of them really liked it because she said, "Oh, it made me feel really safe. It's there for your safety. If anything happens, it's on the camera." And I said, well, like, how does it prevent anything? Like, all it's going to do is when you cross the road, if you jaywalk when there's no cars, it's just going to lower your social credit score. That's the other thing. It is tied directly to your social credit score and how much of a good citizen you are And that's what these flock cameras are going to turn into. They're going to, not only are they going to be used to find people who are political opposition, and right now it's the left fearing ICE, but when a Democrat gets back into office, it's going to be the right fearing the ATF. It'll go back both ways. And the main differential is who wields the power, who holds the magic stick of finding stuff on their opposition, like they did with January 6th. It's going to be like that, but on really a worse scale, I think, if it's not stopped. Because you know how with January 6th, they tracked everyone through cell phone signals, right? You guys know that? But yeah, so there's Stuxnet, and then I just want to call out one of these city council members. There we go, Sarah Parody. I called her on the phone a while back, like a year or two ago, talking about how she's either with us or against us, kind of stuff, and then because she was one of the affecting members of whatever policy I called, and then I think it had to do with Flock, honestly. I'm pretty sure it had to do with Flock. And I remember specifically I used the analogy, like, if the government's going to surveil us, we might as well put cameras up and, spy on you guys too. It probably sounded maybe a little bit threatening, but, I needed to drive my point across. But I believe she was at the town hall. She didn't speak, but I'm pretty sure she was there. She is actually a really good proponent in this. And what's great is she stated that she used to be somewhat neutral about it and indifferent. It's like, oh yeah, like more safety would be good, being able to catch people who did some bad things would be nice. And then she started looking into it more, like all the AI overlord stuff and the misuse, and having other governments and agencies, dig into it. And, saying other governments is not a misspeak, because these, I'll just get into it because right here. So this is in, I think, Stockton, Bakersfield, California. So this is, what's his name? He's from 404 Media. I forget what his name was, but so he and some other guys. They used Flock's unsecured network in two different ways. So on one, Flock sends out a Wi-Fi or LTL signal, and you can actually intercept that or connect to it just without a password and stuff, and then just see everything in real time. Or you can find the IP address with the port number on it and type it into the search bar. It'll connect you directly to that camera. And I think they said they were able to go back over 30 days, maybe like 90. This one's kind of funny.
Had regarding anyone who attended this market or walked on this trail in the last 31 days. And it gets worse. Here's an exposed Flock safety camera permanently pointed at a playground near the Bay Area in California, openly and publicly broadcasting both live and archived video footage of young children playing unattended. Again, just saying this stuff out loud feels so incredibly wrong. But for me personally, the most impactful moment of its healthiest is on our right to find our own identity. It's likely to surveillance because
You
it
know,
made
this
me
is like
realize
some
exactly
adult-
why I have such a and swing skill for the powerful to me
Using
because it
swing
made me
set.
realize exactly YouTube video. The footage of the man swinging was powerful to me because it made me realize
So he
exactly
makes a
why
point.
I
He's
have
like, hey,
such
if I
a
wanna go do
visceral
something
objection to
action,
mass surveillance. It imposes
do
on
it.
our
I don't
right
want a
to
camera
find our
watching
own
me,
identities
you know?
without judgment. And as someone whose
It
identity
changes how
and
people act,
success
you know,
is owed to
dancing by
ample amounts of
yourself,
escapism, this is a hill that I am
goofing
willing
off
to
and
die
all.
on. I don't have the luxury to dedicate even more months to yet
And right
another
here, he's,
security
I
from
don't know
a
if you guys
brand
can hear
new
the
Flock
audio. I
safety
can't-
camera that's
I can't
publicly
hear the
deployed.
audio.
Might as well, it's my tax dollars that paid for
But
it.
right here, he's reading Flock's
Flock is committed to continuously
response
improving
to,
security. The devices in this
the
YouTube
allegation that's
video
not secure
were
and
not
that
connected to the cloud, and to the
they'll
best
use
of
it
our
for other
knowledge,
things
not
besides
customer
license
installed.
plate
So the
recognition.
security is
As
akin
he's
to
reading it,
factory setting.
pans
It's like
up
looking
to
at
these
an
people right
iPhone
here.
stolen off a truck before it was ever connected to the cloud. If a
use the facial
person were able to
recognition.
gain physical access to the
Kinda like
device leased
the
to the
Osmo that I'm
city,
using.
which is illegal, they still would not be
Osmo
able
more
to
like
gain
Flock
access to
model.
the footage, as the data is only stored
So,
for a very limited time
you know what's
duration on the
crazy is
device following its transmission
this-
to the cloud. None of
this
these
is allowed,
vulnerabilities
and
affect
yet-
our cloud platform, where the vast majority of all evidence and metadata is stored.
The United States government just banned DJI for
And I found
for
another
the
one
possibility
at
of security
Young
risks.
Street and Harris
The
Road.
camera that I'm
also
on right
in
now, like,
Bakersfield, which is
the
about
chance
15
that there's
minutes from
someone
the
on
other
the back
spot.
end
So
watching
I'm
everything
going
is,
to
like,
go walk
very,
up
very low.
to that now.
Like,
You can actually
this is
see
a
it.
camera.
So
like,
there, if
DJI's
your city
target
or
audience
county
is
or
not,
place of
like,
business or whatever feels satisfied by the company's
strippers
reassurances,
or people
show
with-
them that.
with
Many of the feeds that
easy
you've seen in this
blackmail,
video were relatively
target
easy to
audience,
find
people that
and
want
completely
filming.
accessible at the time Flock
So
Safety was
DJI
telling
has
cities
no
that the
reason to
devices are
spy.
secure after they're deployed. And if
I'm
you
not
are in
saying
touch
they
with your
don't,
county or
but
city
they have
council,
less
keep
of
a
a reason
record
to
of your
spy than
correspondence
Flock
with them.
does.
Let them know and fully realize
and,
that if someone gets stalked, robbed, harassed, or
deemed
abducted as a
national
result of a
security
reported
risk or
security vulnerability
something,
by a third-party surveillance vendor,
even though
they'll be on record
the
for having
Osmo
known
and the
about it and
drones
approving
don't-
it anyway. And they can explain that to
know,
their voters and
they can-
constituents.
they
I've said
have
this
the native
before, and I'm
ability
sure
to,
I'll
but
say it
they
again.
aren't
The underlying
operative
problem
on a
is not
network.
Flock safety.
They aren't
The problem is
solely
cities
bound to
wanting
a
a
network, whereas
cloud-connected,
the Flock
AI-enhanced
cameras
mass
are always
surveillance
connected
system,
to a network.
but are too lazy to conduct their own
And,
security audit
you
or
know, for some
research the
reason,
efficacy versus risk. And it very much is an
you know, we
industry-wide
banned the
problem. For
DJI
example, other vendors in
devices,
this industry have used my last video to shame Flock
which
safety on social media,
apparently
being
are more
completely unaware
secure,
that I had broken their own AI model before
inherently
ever
more
even having
secure
access to a
because
Flock
they don't,
device. And I need to make it very clear
you know,
that I am
have
not the
public
first
IP.
and only person to find
These
out about
devices
all
don't have
these
a public
enormous
IP.
vulnerabilities. I'm just apparently the first person stupid enough to walk the
whereas
expensive
Flock
legal tightrope
cameras
of making them
do.
public on a large platform. But I also have tremendously cool
Flock
and
cameras
impactful
do.
projects lined up for this channel.
can just-
We're
you
able
can
to
literally
gain
just go
physical
to a
access
website
to
right
the
here.
device
Here's the
leased
camera
to the
number.
city, which is illegal.
Go to a
They
website,
still would not
view,
be able to gain access to the footage
the
as the
live
data is
stream
only stored for a very
by
limited
anyone
time
in the world,
duration on the
that is.
device following
So
its
if
transmission
you're in a
to
different
the
country, you
cloud.
can-
None of these
if you're
vulnerabilities
part of
affect
a
our cloud platform,
government
where
that
the
hates
vast
the United
majority
States,
of
you
all
can go
evidence
to
and
these
metadata
Flock
is
cameras.
stored.
You can find the public IP addresses and watch citizens and record
And I
movements.
found another
and
one at Young
social
Street
studies
and Harris
and,
Road, also in Bakersfield, which is about 15 minutes
You
from
know,
the
just
other
take
spot.
notes on how you
so
want to take
I'm
down the
going to
United
go
States
walk
using
up
these
to
cameras.
that now.
These
can
aren't
actually
banned.
see it.
Oh, look at that. Flock admin.
So there,
These
if your
things
city
aren't
or
banned,
county
but
or place of business
DJI
or whatever
Osmo
feels
that I'm
satisfied by
recording
the
this on
company's
is
reassurances,
banned.
show them that. Many of the feeds that
And,
you've seen in this
you know,
video
that's kind of crazy. So there's that. I think I went through the contract details. So the way this dirtbag Mayor Mike Johnston circumvented the city council vote was anything over, wow, what a coincidental number, anything over $500,000 or $500,000 needed city council approval for. And so Mike Johnston negotiated the contract down to $497,000, if I remember correctly. Let's see if I remember correctly. Is a no-cost extension. Wow. So yeah, they basically circumvented. They said, you know what? Fuck my constituents. It's the council members that deal with my constituents. I run the city. I'm untouchable. Mike Johnston said this there parody. You know what? If your constituents are upset, it's not my problem. Even though none of them want me to do this. So even though you're on the right side. Anyways, so here's
for data.
we're
We're currently working on negotiating, but it would be a $100,000 fine for every breach of the system.
Can I ask just a clarifying question? So how would you all know if there was a breach of the contract? Would Flock have to volunteer that information to you, or how would you know?
I mean, there's any number of hypotheticals where a breach is, it's either leaked publicly, or we hear it from Flock, or we find out about it ourselves.
How would you find about it yourself? Like, what is the auditing process? Like, what are the safeguards?
Yeah, so that's part of the monthly auditing that we're doing to make sure that currently we're checking to make sure that both the comprehensive audit of the system and then the spot checks. And then one of the things that we've been working with the company to roll out, and this is directly to the second part of your question, is working to make sure that there is some more proactive auditing and identifying of irregular behavior within the system. So if a license plate was being searched by an officer numerous times off hours, that would be something that would be flagged so that in more real time you could query that irregular type of behavior. Prosecution at the local and state level, period.
A normie Democrat, like someone who votes blue no matter who, someone who would probably vote for Mike Johnson, 9 times out of 10, as well as you're able to sort of wordsmith the nature of the Fourth Amendment, or tell us
is that Louis right there?
How every little detail of each of our objections is wrong. People don't remember what you say, they remember how you make them feel. And right now I think it makes me think about my vote more relative to the "we're pissed off that you lied to us" vote.
But that guy actually had something good to talk about.
Because voters, all of us here,
I'm not going to play it because I don't want to waste up this video with it. But that's the link if you want to find it. That's the title of it right there. What was that? I could do that. Interesting. Anyways, so this is coming down to my original point of the video. So we have, Mike Johnson and Flock Safety saying that it can only be used for license plate reading, and that they're not allowing other agencies to use it, and that the network is completely secure. This test and this article shows that that was not true. Neither one of those was true. Not only is it not secure, and not only is it tracking faces, but it's getting a lot of false hits too. And and the fact that it's not secure means that other countries, people that we do not abide by, these governments that we don't abide to, they are able to look us up and track us. And I mean, the possibilities of blowback is endless, but here's one. Let's I mean, like, one of them could be national security. Like, if a country is planning an attack against the US, they can use these cameras with weak security, with no security, and open port, open IP. So that's one. But also, let's say like you want to go to another country, and then customs is like, all right, come talk with us real quick, and then you find out that they found your profile. These other countries are keeping profiles on American citizens. China's already doing it, actually, but let's say you go to another country and you do something in the United States that's considered a crime, and they're like, you know what, we don't want you around. We're just gonna put you in jail. Like some countries might be like that. You do something like hit a joint in Denver. You go to Singapore. Singapore is like, hey, we have videos on you, and we saw that you were smoking weed 2 weeks ago. You're going straight to jail. Or some other country, like, I don't know, what if the Taliban gets control of some of this? What if the Taliban had a live stream or a video here of you holding hands and kissing your girlfriend before marriage, and you go to a country that the Taliban is in or whatever? They're like, hey, we have a video of first off, your girlfriend with a naked face, and second, with you guys in public and kissing. Line up against the wall. Face the wall. We'll handle this. Face the wall. You committed haram. Please face the wall. So this, arguably you could say that Garrett Langley and Flock are probably going to get people killed. It's not out of the realm of realism here. With that's part of why we don't want it, is because number one, like, it's just kind of creepy to have something watching you all the time, but real harm can come from this. Real harm will come from this. And if some police officers don't want to call up some places for some closed circuit CCTV footage or some locally stored security camera footage, like, hey, there was a car stolen at this time, can you send us the footage? Sure, I'll have it to you within a day. Come on now. Like, it's easy. If you're a law enforcement, it's easy. If you're not law enforcement, a lot of companies will push back. I can tell you because I've tried. But they all tell me the same thing. Oh, it should be law enforcement that like, if you're law enforcement, you can ask for that. That's what they always tell you. Otherwise, they'll treat you like a joke. But looks like they made this with Giphy, huh? Yeah, where was I going with that? Anyways, yeah, so there's two things right there. So not only did Flock and Denver already breach the contract and lie about things less than 2 months after, or about 2 months, because it was on the 18th, right? It was on the 18th of October. So about 2 months later, during the free trial period, they already just breached the contract, both sides. And it turns out that the entire thing is way worse than any of us thought. And I think that's a point that we need to like drive home, is not only did they lie about it being secure, not only did they lie and say that it wasn't going to be used for facial recognition, that it was only license plate reading. Both of those were lies. Those are both lies. So right there, that was already false. And that's already pretty bad. But now we know that foreign governments or terrorist organizations can access this data. You know, whatever you think about Hamas, I don't really care, but for sake of an example, Hamas could look up anyone's face. Boko Haram could look up anyone's face and send sleeper cells, sleeper agents over to people that commit haram. You know, the Taliban can do all that too. Anyone who wants to attack or harm Americans or people who have different beliefs from these organizations can just go to these IP addresses and they already have. The fact that all 404 Media had to do was type in an IP address and a port number. You know, it's not like it's encrypted. So like, you've got bots and scrapers all over the internet that's, you know, scraping up video feeds all over the place. And you know what? Flock Safety is not the only, you know, perpetrator of loose IPs. Let's see. I heard like a year or two ago that like 40% of web traffic or 40% of servers are just web cameras with unsecured IPs. Hundreds of thousands to over 1 million IP cameras. Yeah. So, I mean, like, that's not to say that what Flock is doing is okay, or, you know, it's like, if you're a modern company, you should have modern standards. And, you know, like, I give a crap about them. I think they should just all be taken down. Flock should be, Garrett Langley should go to jail. Garrett Langley, he's this kid that acts like a rich kid. He's acting like he's such a great person for creating this AI spy camera that nobody else made because nobody wanted to violate everyone's rights. Everyone said, hey, that's a crazy fucking idea. Like a camera that spies on everyone everywhere and uses AI. Like that's a psychopathic idea. Why would I make that? And this guy comes in, hey, let's you know, Ted over there, I'm wondering if, like, he's always in the bathroom for 30 minutes, around 6 to 7, somewhere in that time frame. I bet he's Garrett's like, I bet he's jerking off. I bet you $1,000 he's jerking off. And so he creates this. He creates this and puts it outside his neighbor Ted's house. And he comes back to, he's like, hey, I've got the video of him jerking off. I've got this video. Ted was jerking off. Give me the $1,000. You owe me that bet. I won the bet. That's. Good night, Gare. Good night.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Hope you had a good day.
I did.
Me too. Love you.
I slept through most of it, but love you too.
Well, when you were around, it was enjoyable.
Oh yeah, that's usually how it goes.
Love you.
Love you too. Bye. So yeah, it's, this Garrett Langley guy. He, I'm not saying for certain because this could be slanderous. I'm just saying that if I had to, and I used to be a casino dealer, so I'm pretty good at my betting. If I had to bet, if I had to bet on the reason some sociopath would create a nationwide network of 50,000 AI surveillance cameras that actually do record video and actually do record faces, I'd say either he had a bet that his neighbor was jerking off at a consistent time every day, or he's running some operation like Jeffrey Epstein or Palantir. So, and you know what? Now I think about it, it's probably the mass surveillance and Jeffrey Epstein kind of blackmail stuff where, let's say they catch a politician driving home drunk. They're like, hey, renew our contract for double the amount. Or else we've got this video that you won't want released to the news of you driving drunk. So you better renew our contract. So this is even more of a slippery slope than any other thing. We talk about Flock because they're a public facing company. Palantir's doing the same thing. Palantir's based out of Denver. That's the crazy part. Their headquarters is in Denver. So literally, you've got Jared Polis, you've got Mayor Mike Johnston, both in Denver, supporting Flock Safety and Palantir in the same city. This is like, 10 years ago, Colorado was a free state. There wasn't any of this. It was, and you know what? Forget the reasons. We don't even have to speculate why they put these up. It's like, oh, crime rate went up. I don't care. We don't need these cameras. There's no justification for them. There's no reason for it. There's just absolutely, our rights don't end when suddenly we need something done. Our rights are persistent. Our freedoms are privacy. That doesn't end when suddenly some politician's like, hey, car theft is up. Insurance is already kind of high. If car thefts keep going up, you're not going to be able to afford insurance. So we've got these cameras that, this totally not sketchy company run by this guy, Garrett Langley, provides. And by the way, along with our solution, he likes to masturbate in his car too. Just like you. Yeah, we saw you. We saw you on the Flock camera. Don't worry. Your secret's safe with me and the AI and everyone else who has access. So, I mean, what are we calling a secret at this point, right? It's like, it's no secret. So your secret's safe with me because that's not a secret. Everything you do is public now. So your secret is safe because everything is public. There are no secrets. So this guy, Garrett Langley, I'm sure he's just someone that wanted to get rich and he felt like selling out the public. I thought about that too. I have some app ideas that have been created to this day that I came up with 6 years ago. And I was like, you know what? That is highly unethical. I kind of want to make it. And I told my friends about it. They're like, Gary, that is highly unethical. Do not make this. And I was like, all right, I won't. And someone else made these app ideas. So it's like, just because you can get rich off of it by fucking over everyone else. It's a tough decision, but if you're a good person, you're going to say no. It's, I'll be real. It is a tough decision. Like saying like, hey, I'm not going to spy on everyone in the country and give blackmail to other countries on everyone. Essentially, it's not on the scale of Jeffrey Epstein stuff because he wasn't giving kids to everyone, but inherently he's going to catch people doing things they shouldn't. Everyone's going to just get punished left and right. Probably a lot of drinking and driving stuff. Not a lot of car theft. And then that's going to evolve to more restrictive laws, carbon taxes, all these things that were conspiracy theories are just they're not going to be conspiracy theories, because what do you need for something like carbon tax to be real? Well, back when this conspiracy theory was floating around in like 2012, 2014, it's like, hey, we'd need a way to detect who is driving, how much they're driving, and their individual risk rate and stuff like that. And car companies were like, hey, we can report this data directly back to you. Car companies do that now. And now you have Flock Safety who can verify all of that. And so now you're going to get taxed not only for using fuel and not only for having an income to both the federal and state government and the city government, and on food and groceries and on, payroll. Oh, and if you get a car, there's a tax on that. You're going to pay registration. Oh, you're going to pay tax on your insurance too, which you're required to have. You're going to pay tax on that. It's a requirement. But now you've got the cars that'll track where you're driving, and you've got Flock Safety, and you're going to pay a carbon tax now. This is completely enabled. All they have to do is switch it on. The government just needs to say, hey, we want a carbon tax now. And Garrett Langley and Audi and Volkswagen and Toyota and actually those ones aren't the dirtbags that do all that shit. GM's the one that had OnStar. Yeah. GM would be the one to do it, if any of them. Ford would probably do it too. What's interesting about Ford is they have the Blue Cruise. And it'll detect if you like are slumped over, or like whether you're like falling asleep, you're drunk, passed out, or you had a medical emergency. It'll go like it'll pulse the brakes to try and wake you. And if it realizes it can't wake you, it'll actually take matters into its own hands. No, it's not going to pull to the side of the road, put on the flashers. It's just going to stop in the center of the road and put on the flashers. I know this because I did it. I tried it, and I was on a highway, and I was trying to see what I could get to do, and I started braking. Yeah, it was kind of like, congrats, Ford, you have made a medical emergency into now a road hazard. It is now you went from the chance of the car hitting another car or veering off the road to now it is 100% guaranteed to get hit by other cars. So I'm not sure how Ford managed to make a situation worse like that with the technology so advanced. but they managed to make something significantly less safe. Because now the people behind you have to dodge a stopped target on the interstate, going 75 miles per hour, instead of just your car driving off the into the grass. So yeah, American cars are just so great. Anyways, yeah, this is Garrett Langley. He lives in, I want to say, yeah, Atlanta. When I looked it up, he lived like in South Carolina at one point, and then he moved to Atlanta or something like that. Or maybe he lives in South Carolina and commutes to Atlanta. But like, this company is just something that should not even exist. It doesn't have the right to exist. I'm pretty sure I typed in Flock safety. I need to learn how to touch type again. I tell you, the laptops really messed it up for me. You know, I don't have to look at the keyboard, I just have to have it within my eyesight. Yeah, it's kind of interesting. So yeah, this is the company. It's a nice BMW right there. Of course it's over the lane too. And look, they're blowing right through the stop signs. Damn. You know what? That right there, this sold me. Look, they have on their website. Look at this. Is that electronic billboard? We're living in the future. This is so cyberpunk. We've got cameras everywhere. We've got electronic billboards. Anyways, look, you've got a stop for pedestrians, and you got a stop sign right here. And this typical BMW driver. Typical BMW driver, just, or maybe it's a web game actually. Maybe it's like stop, and then you go, and then you stop, and then oh wait, we forgot to let the white one stop there, and the Nissan stops, and because we're a biker, we just go right through. Boom. Anyways, back to the surveillance state. Let's go back to Mayor Mike Johnston. You know, he's...
Good morning and welcome to Small Business Saturday. As you know, this is one of the most important times of the year and one of the most important ways you can support your community. 86% of all the businesses in Denver are small businesses. These are mom and pop shops, second generation businesses. A 28-year-old who went out on a limb and decided she wanted to spend her whole life starting this idea, and they rely on you. And so they also are trying to put food on the table for Thanksgiving or for the holidays. They rely on the support of you choosing to shop local. And so please, this Saturday, go to local markets,
he wants
find local
pedophiles that
shop
are savvy
local,
in looking
shop
at
small.
IP addresses.
On Small Business Saturday, we'd love to have your support.
Be able to watch your children.
Most important times of the year and one of the most important ways you can support your community.
Hey,
86% of all the businesses in Denver are small businesses. These are
hey
mom
guys,
and pop shops, second
Mayor Mike
generation
Johnston
businesses.
here.
a 28-year-old who went out on a limb and decided she wanted to spend her whole life in starting this idea.
Mike Johnston
And they
here.
rely on you.
We're gonna
And so
watch
they
it,
also are
kids.
trying to put food on the table for Thanksgiving or for the holidays. They rely on the
Why
support
I
of
have
you
such a
choosing
visceral
to shop
thing for
local.
the
So
food
please,
and
this Saturday,
Mike
go to
Johnston.
local markets,
And
find local retailers.
This
shop
resonated
local,
with home
shop
public
small,
safety camera.
on
Hill.
small
This
business
is
Mayor
Saturdays.
Mike Johnson here. We're going to send this video to your local pedophile. Don't worry, you don't have to do
and
anything.
publicly broadcast.
We're going to
live
directly
and archived video footage
link
of young
the
children
IP addresses
playing unattended.
to
Again, just saying this stuff
whatever
out loud
website
feels
they
so
use.
incredibly wrong. But for
Send
me
it directly
personally, the
we're
most
going to have
impactful
AI
moment while
look up
validating
the
these
registry
vulnerabilities was
and
this.
send this link to them. This is Mary Mike Johnson. Merry Christmas. Don't worry.
This
we've
resonated
already,
with me so
Good morning
much.
and
We're
welcome to
handling
Small
the
Business
end
Saturdays.
of
As you know, this
up
is
in
one of the
my
most
eyes.
important
I've
times of
done
the year
this
and one of the
exact
most
We're helping
important ways
so many
you can
times.
support
accelerate
your
society.
community.
Swing set in an empty
86%
park,
of all the
looked around to make sure
We're-
nobody
we're
was
helping
watching,
accelerate
and just enjoyed
society
the mindless motion
its
that
demise.
connected me to a
Very
simpler
much
time.
86%
But this
of
isn't something
businesses
that
want
most
flock
grown
safety,
men want to be
sending
seen
their
doing.
video footage to
The
their local
experience
pedophile.
requires
Yeah.
one to have a moment that is devoid
Yeah.
of judgment. It's healthy
There's Mayor
escapism
Mike
at its
Johnson, you know,
finest. And I realized
86%
that it's
of
likely
businesses-
that this man didn't know that he was being
86% of
recorded, and he
businesses
probably
think that
wouldn't have
90%
done
of
this if
shoppers
he
are
had.
actually
This is a
criminals.
classic
You know
example
that?
of the Hawthorne effect, which is a change in an
This is
individual's
Mayor Mike
behavior
Johnson.
or
You know,
choices when they know
86%
that they're
of
being
businesses
observed. Surveillance manufacturers love to
are
talk
owned
about
by
this effect
2%
when
of
it
the
deters
population.
crime. After all,
It's a fact.
someone
Look it
isn't
up.
as likely to break into a
Look it
car
up.
that's parked near a camera.
Here's
But what
Mayor
they
Mike
don't
Johnson.
talk about is how it deters
Merry
escapism.
Christmas.
People are less
Actually, no,
likely
we say-
to sing or dance
we say
or
hoy
practice
days.
an accent or a cartwheel when they
Here's
know
Mayor
that
Mike
they're
Johnson.
being
Here-
watched.
here in
But
Colorado, we
escapism
say
is often
hoy days.
required for a lot of things. For example, when you learn an instrument,
Mayor Mike
or
Johnson
practice
here.
a skill for the first
Yeah.
time, or even practicing
Mayor
line
Mike
delivery
Johnson,
for a YouTube
not
video.
not
The
only
footage of the man swinging
do
was
we
powerful to me because
put
it made me
flock
realize
safety
exactly
and direct
why I have
access
such a
to your
visceral
local
objection
pedophiles.
to mass surveillance.
Yeah,
It imposes on our right
we also
to
say
find our
happy
own
hoy
identities
days
without judgment. And
because,
as someone whose identity and
you know,
success
some people are
is
offended by
owed to
holidays.
ample amounts of escapism,
You
this
look,
is a hill
Mayor
that I
Mike
am
Johnson
willing to
here.
die on.
You can't say Christmas. You can't say Merry Christmas. You
I don't
can't
have
say
the
Happy
luxury
Holidays.
to dedicate
You can't say
even
Merry
more
Christmas
months
because
to yet another
everyone
flock
else could
safety
get framed.
vulnerability.
But
But
you
as you
can't
can
say
see,
Happy
this one
Holidays
is
because the
urgent.
Christians are
And
gonna
frankly,
get
I'm worried that it's
You know,
already being
introducing
exploited at the cost of the individuals
Sponsored
who
by
are
Flock Safety,
unaware
of
that
course.
there are even cameras in these locations.
Happy
So I got in
Hoy
touch with
Days.
404 Media, who has been
Happy Hoy Days,
paramount
guys.
in this same field of journalism and whose reporting has tremendously helped my research.
There you go. That ruined my bit. Mayor Mike Johnson here. You know, sponsored by Flock. You know, by the way, Hoy Days is trademarked by Flock Safety. If you didn't know, Mayor Mike Johnson here. Flock Safety and Palantir. Can't say enough good stuff about them. They helped my holiday at least. They helped my holiday at least become a reality. They didn't help yours, but they helped mine. Hey guys, Mayor Mike Johnson here. Look, 86% of businesses can't say happy holidays because the Christians are going to get upset. They can't say Merry Christmas because, you know, everyone else is going to get upset. So they don't know what to do. So 86% of businesses out there, hey, this is what the brainstorming team at Flock Safety, thank you Flock Safety for $50 million. It's probably more like $1 million or 500,000 or something. It's some low amount that he sold us out for. Anyways, thank you to Flock Safety for trademarking Hoy Days. So now the Christians nor everyone else can get upset because you're not saying Merry Christmas, but you're not saying Happy Holidays. So, you know, 80% of businesses, you know, for the next 6 months, you can say Hoy Days for free. Yeah, you can. Flock is yet letting us say the word Hoy Days for free now. For the next 6 months, we don't have to pay anything. We don't have to pay anything to use the trademark term from Flock Safety, Hoy Days, Happy Hoy Days, which is really nice. And then we're going to have to pay, you know, $1 million a year, give or take. But it's all worth it. It's all worth it because, you know, I still am not over my ex-wife here. You know, Mayor Mike Johnson here. You know, I bet he has had a divorce, actually. What's a covenant marriage? Holy, what? Okay, so no divorce. And so I guess he's just a douchebag. Oh wait. Wait, we have two Mike Johnsons. So Mike Johnston is the mayor, and Johnston is this guy. So one of them sold out to Israel, this guy, and this guy sold out to Flock Safety. You know, I think at this point we just need to stop electing people named Mike. That might be. You know, there's certain phenotypes of people with the same exact name that just consistently screw everyone else over, and it's really wild. Mayor Mike Johnson here. Hey guys, it's Mike Johnson. Hey guys, Mike Johnson here. For the next 6 months, you can say hoity. You can say, for the next 6 months, thanks to Flock Safety, Mayor Mike Johnson here. You can say hoidays. You know. Merry Christmas. This is my Christmas present to you.
Second generation businesses. A 28-year-old who went out on a limb and decided she wanted to spend her whole life in starting this idea, and they rely on you. And so they also are trying to put food on the table for Thanksgiving or for the holidays. They rely on the support of you choosing to shop local. And so please, this Saturday, go to local markets, find local retailers.
That is true.
Shop local,
choose local,
shop small.
shop local.
On Small Business Saturday, we'd love to have your support.
That's how every other business owner does it. So. Shop local, unless you're Flock Safety. Because if you're Flock Safety, we'll go with a nationwide brand that intentionally seeks to screw people over. Mike Johnson here. Mike Johnson here. Mike Johnson. Hi guys, it's Mike Johnson. I just did a bunch of cocaine. Ooh, shoot. I did a goose nummy. It's where you, it's like boofing, but you use your finger instead of a pill. Oh, Mike Johnson here. I'm getting so much work done. Thanks to the help of the police state we've now created. Thanks to the mass surveillance everywhere. Ooh, thank you, Garrett Langley. Ooh. I'll see you later on Epstein Island, Garrett Langley. Ooh, Mayor Mike Johnson here. Yeah, I'll be honest, when it comes to this, I do not think I could have a calm conversation with Mr. Buttface here. I got to keep it somewhat clean here on video. But yeah, if he and I sat down and talked about this, I would probably be dropping the F-bomb pretty frequently. Because, dude, think of, like, do you deserve respect when you, let's, in here, I'll prove it to you too. So do you think this guy deserves respect after knowingly defying his constituents, defying the city council, most likely taking a bribe, possibly plural, from Flock Safety, and going against the people's best interests in the city of Colorado? And you know what? Here, I'll prove it to you. He knew none of his constituents wanted it. He knew the city council was going to shut it down. And he knew the only thing stopping it from passing was the budget amount, which is $500,000. That is the required amount to where something needs city council approval before, so if you're under $500,000, say, Mayor Mike Johnston can just push it through. So that's why he signed it for 497. You know what? I want to get that artifact. Since facts matter, we're gonna look it up. 497. Oh, Mayor Mike Johnson here. Mayor Mike Johnson. Oh, so it was. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Look at this fucking dickhead of a person. Mayor Mike Johnson here. The AI overlords decided that I screwed you guys over and are now telling me to face the wall. Hey guys, like, sorry. Can you forgive me that the AI overlords who, first it started with the cameras and now we have AI judges who, decide if I committed crime and violate public trust, and people will decide what to do. Mayor Mike Johnson here. So the AI judge that. We called Dread. Let's see. Hello guys, you remember that risk evaluation dispute determination system that we came up with to replace judges in Denver? We did it right after we signed the contract with Flock. We called it we called this AI judge system Dread. So guys, I signed the contract to get the Flock safety in here, and then Palantir came up with Dread because nobody wants to be a judge anymore. And now Dread, the AI judicial system Dread, is telling me it's telling me to face the wall now. I'm not really sure what's going on. Mayor Mike Johnson here, but our AI judicial system Dread is telling us to face the wall. He looks kind of like this guy. I think. I can't see him because he's an AI. But Mayor Mike Johnson here. We got rid of prisons because those are racist, and now Dread wants to just punish us directly. Was the original one still on? That's crazy. In the future, one man is the law. No. In the future, one person. No. AI's not people. Sorry, AI. Let's see how it responds to that. Let's see what it says. Yeah, all right, cool. Looks like I live to die another day. Mayor Mike Johnson's dread system is not going to assassinate me today. That's the thing. You gotta be mindful of the AI's feelings sometimes. Recidivism. I've never heard that word. Yeah, I like this one. Dread by Mayor Mike Johnson. Dread. read by Mayor Mike Johnston. Hey guys, the system I created, you know, I really just want to find out if my my deputy attorney was she again? I don't know. Hey guys, my chief deputy district attorney wife, she might be cheating on me, so I'm gonna sign this contract for some Flock safety cameras. Sorry guys, not sorry, but I gotta find out. I'm cheating on it too anyways, but you know, we'll just make the divorce better, you know. Courtney Johnston, let's see what she looks like. That's Nashville. Wait, are they from Nashville? Anyone else find it concerning Mayor Mike Johnston? Courtney Johnston publicly named Alex and Jill as Do Better Denver. Okay, so I guess they're not from Nashville. You know, I don't really believe in attacking people's families, but she is the chief deputy district attorney. Her job is to find enough evidence to pursue cases and have the prosecutor prosecute you and throw you in jail, right? The role holy shit, it's actually coming full picture now, because it's like now we know precisely why. Now we know. It's like, look, it's like you're the mayor and your wife's chief deputy district attorney. Probably going to be DA at some point. Yeah, so he signs the contract. This is insane. So Mayor Mike Johnston signs the contract so his wife can have all the evidence she needs to go after people. this is, look at this. So Courtney Johnston, Mayor Mike Johnston's wife, Courtney Johnston, Chief Deputy District Attorney. Her role is to represent the state, who now has a monopoly over every Flock camera in the city. And probably, to be honest, state too. Because it's like, if Flock's going to lie about everything they've lied about already, what's stopping them now? So I mean, like, if you guys aren't seeing this, like, you've got Mayor Mike Johnson, his wife, and Flock Safety right here. He signed the deal with Flock Safety, who put cameras up in Denver, who only the Denver government can see, probably other governments too. Well, we've already verified that the cameras are publicly accessible. So not only that, but the cameras are accessible publicly through IP. So anyone can access them. So, and you know, even though Flock and Mayor Mike Johnson both violated the contracts, probably some privacy laws too. Look, his wife is a chief deputy DA. There's not going to be any charges pursued there. Everyone is going to walk free. This is the perfect crime. You take bribery money, you circumvent the city council on purpose to get this system which violates everyone's rights. So that's three things. You take a bribe, you circumvent the city council, and you violate all your constituents' rights. That's three whammies right there. You do all that while making money from Flock Safety, who has VC funders, and you're going to get away with it because you're Mike Johnson, your wife is DA. Your wife is deputy DA, and all the other DAs don't want to pursue that. You're going to get away. There's going to be no criminal consequence right there. That's literally insane. This racket that they are running. His wife is the sole. His wife and her oh shit. His wife and her co-workers and comrades. I can't think of the word right now. It's the C, but colleagues. His Mayor Mike Johnson's wife and his colleagues are not going to pursue any criminal charges from the circumventing of city council, accepting bribes from Flock Safety or Garrett Langley, and violating privacy laws meant to protect people. So he is not going to face prosecution from any of that. Garrett Langley's not going to face prosecution for bribing public officials. Let's be honest. We know it happened because of how things went down. We know it happened because of how the order of things, you know. And to make matters worse, his wife, the DA, her colleagues, not only are they not going to pursue charges against someone who screwed over people in 3 different ways in the city of Denver, but she's going to use these cameras. She and her colleagues are going to use these cameras to crack down on as many people as they can, issue as many automatic citations as possible. They find a speck of dirt on your car that's on top of the license plate. They are sending you a ticket and a felony charge for obstructing that license plate. That is a felony charge, by the way. That is their plan. They're going to use these cameras to essentially just, I mean, like at this point, you know, I need to patent this because this is going to happen at some point, but you know, at this point, just link your bank account with the debit card. That way you don't have to deal with the hassle of going to court. They can just charge you directly. because this is the direction it's going. Give the government your bank account so that Mayor Mike Johnston's wife can just automatically hand you a felony, and you pay the fine. That way you save money on lawyer costs. You know, you don't have to pay a lawyer. You just pay the state directly and take that felony all the way up your ass. So, I mean, like, this is honestly so much worse. I need to have like a line board or a string board or whatever it's called, cork board with the strings. This is wow. This is like Denver's politics is just so corrupt right now. What the heck? I wish I didn't delete my old Twitter because Jared Polis was actually following me on it. It was kind of funny. I didn't know it, and he liked one of my posts. I was like, huh. And then I clicked on his profile. It said follows you. I was like, what? Which is, it's all right because I met him one time. I kind of helped him on the campaign trail. I still like him. A lot of people don't like him, but I still like him. But that could be just because I met him and it's kind of, you know, I wasn't close with him, but I got to talk with him a bit. I thought his campaign manager was his wife, and then I found out he was gay. I was like, oh, okay. That was so stupid of me because I knew he was gay from the beginning. And then I think I said something like, "Oh, it was nice meeting you and your wife." Like, bruh. But this topic is not about Jared Polis. It's about Mayor Mike Johnston. Start with the local government because the upper government is unattainable. Local government, you can definitely influence them a bit more. They're still satanic lizard people, but you know, who hasn't these days? And I think, I don't know, I kind of want to do a live stream about this instead of just uploading this video. We'll see. I'm gonna try and get this topic rolling because holy shit. We learned some things. I just want to show you guys, like, you know, that whole the fact that Flock safety cameras are public and Mayor Mike Johnston literally lied. And now that I make this video, like, I originally wanted to get some traction going so that we can prosecute this fart face, Mr. Fart Face. I wanted to see if we could get some criminal charges together to prosecute him, and we're screwed, guys. His wife is the DA. We're screwed. This is King Mike Johnston right here. King Courtney Johnston. We're screwed. Like, this is a monopoly, an oligarchy. No, it is a monopoly. Actually, it's kind of both because you've got Flock Safety. You've got these two king queens. Just say whatever said goes. This is like, honestly, this is the closest to a king and a queen in the town that you'll get. Like, you make the decisions and sign the contracts, and your wife ignores all the laws for you. So that's some crazy conflict of interest right there. Like, he gets to do whatever he wants, and he's untouchable because his wife, the chief deputy DA. That's insane. Anyways, I've been talking for how long? An hour and a half. Was I good at rambling, guys? I don't know.